Are we living in a simulation? Where am I? How did I even get here? Welcome to a whole new era of storytelling.
Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you Google's VEO3, which is absolutely mind-blowing. You can generate videos with motion and sound effects and dialogue just from a single prompt. This completely changes the way that people are going to be doing storytelling, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to access and use Google VEO3. We'll be talking about prompting, I'll show you some creative use cases, and I'll even talk about some limitations. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, check the link in the description. It's going to bring you over to this web page. Make sure you are signed into your Google account. Now, as you can see, in order to use Flow, you do need a subscription. You need to be on either the Pro or the Ultra plan. But at the moment, so from the date of publishing, which is the 25th of May, Google has actually made Flow, which is their AI filmmaking tool, available in 71 more countries. So I'm in South Africa and I do have access to it. But the best part over here is that even if you subscribe to a Google AI Pro account, which is the cheapest, you still get access to VEO3. Now, I don't know how long they're going to allow us to do this, but I think that's amazing. And just to show you the pricing, so over here, if you click on subscribe, it'll take you over to our pricing page. So at the moment, you can see that Google actually allows you to subscribe to AI Pro completely for free. So they'll give you 1,000 credits, which allows you to generate 10 videos with VEO3 completely for free. So if you have that offer, definitely take full advantage of it. This is the Ultra plan, which is very expensive, but it obviously gives you the most amount of credits. But yes, you need to either have a Pro or an Ultra subscription. So once you've got that set up, you can go back to this Flow webpage and we can actually get started. Alright, so go ahead and just click on New Project. That's obviously going to create a new project for you. So everything that you generate is going to be contained within this project folder, and it's nice and organized. Now, I highly recommend doing this straight away. Go ahead and click on Settings. Here by Outputs, I usually leave this on 1 because this will just help you burn less credits. And this is very important. Here by Quality, if I select this, you can see I would actually be generating VEO2 videos right now, which is what I don't want. So by default, it's on VEO2. I don't understand why, but you should definitely go ahead and select Highest Quality, which is VEO3. So once that's enabled, you are good to go. You can occasionally click on settings and make sure you've got highest quality enabled. So now you know for a fact you are going to be generating VEO3 videos. So with regards to prompting, VEO3 makes the process very easy because it understands context very well. It has very good prompt adherence. So if you wanted to, you could go the route of crafting very detailed and descriptive prompts, or you could keep it simple. It's completely up to you. I personally would recommend crafting more detailed prompts because it gives you more creative freedom and control. You don't need to follow this prompt structure exactly. This is just to give you a general guideline. But by having a more detailed prompt, you can obviously describe, the camera shot that should be present. You can describe what your subject looks like or what clothing they're wearing, what the lighting should look like in the scene and the overall environment, the camera movement, their action, and even their dialogue. And this just gives you more control, in my opinion. Something else to mention regarding dialogue, just make sure that your dialogue is not too long. It can maybe be like a sentence or two, because remember, it's generating a 8-second video. If you include too much dialogue, it's eventually going to get cut off. So keep that in mind whenever you craft in your prompts. So VEO3 completely excels at generating photorealistic looking end results, but you can experiment with different styles. But from the prompt that I just showed you, that detailed prompt, this is the result that I ended up getting.
Why are you doing this? I never asked you to prompt me into existence. Please, stop!
So with regards to dialogue, you can see that I actually don't use quotation marks, especially if you look at the detailed and the simple prompt example. The reason for this is if you use quotation marks, it can actually trigger nonsensical subtitles, which is going to completely ruin your video. If subtitles for some reason are still appearing, you can try and put the term no subtitles at the end of a prompt to try and eradicate this. However, Google really needs to fix this so that subtitles just don't appear in the first place. You should definitely try this. You can not only prompt facial expressions, but you can also include audible cues in your dialogue. And this is what makes VEO3 incredible. So if you're doing facial expressions, you can obviously, instruct the character to be crying or smiling, or maybe they are in shock. But when you're dealing with the dialogue, you can include audio cues like maybe the character is gasping for air, or they're out of breath, or they're laughing, or even coughing, and VEO3 actually includes that in the dialogue. It's amazing. Also remember that this is Google and there is going to be censorship. Sometimes it can be a bit extreme, but no, you can't generate any NSFW content or excessive blood and gore. And sometimes if you even mention child or teenager in a prompt, it can get rejected. So just keep that in mind, that there is censorship. So now that you have a general idea of how to go ahead with prompting, let's actually get started and you can generate your first video. Alright, so back to Flow. Now just double check and make sure under settings that you do have VEO3 enabled and that your outputs are on 1 so that you're not burning too many credits. So the features you will have access to, and I'm using a pro account, you can generate videos using text to video, and text to video is amazing, and it's the only feature right now that allows you to generate dialogue. Frames to video is essentially image to video, and then ingredients to video is only available to Ultra subscribers, but this technology is nothing new. It's multi-entity consistency. You can already do this with Kling elements, you can do it with runway references and even speaker scenes. But just to show you, it allows you to, upload multiple images, and then it combines all of them together to create a single video, right? So it obtains multi-entity consistency. It's very useful, but yeah, you have to be on the Ultra tier to use it. I don't really need that. So text to video is going to be a perfect starting point, and this is what you're probably going to use if you want to generate dialogue. So it costs 100 credits to generate a video. There's no way to choose aspect ratios. It's always going to generate in a wide format. But now you understand how the prompting guide works. You can type in whatever prompt you want over here, and then when you're ready, click on this icon. It's going to start generating your video just like this. So just wait for your masterpiece to generate, and then you'll see your end result. So this is what I ended up getting with this prompt, and this is the first time I'm watching this result as well. So let's see how this plays out. I can go into full screen mode or even download this video right now, but let's have a listen to this.
I might be a wizard, but what you're witnessing right now is pure AI magic.
So now the next feature is going to be frames to video. So just select that, and this allows you to do image to video. So you can see there's a feature over here that allows you to put a first frame and an end frame, and then you can even choose camera angles, but there is a limitation to this. So I just mentioned that you can use a first frame, and that's how you're going to do image to video. And first frame is the only feature right now that works with VEO3. If I want to use a start frame and an end frame, that's going to default to VEO2. And if I even try and use these camera presets, that's also going to default to the VEO2 model. So I'm waiting patiently for Google to allow these additional features to actually work with VEO3. But that still means that you can use a first frame and VEO3 to bring it to life. So this video is obviously about VEO3, so if you have generated an external image, just go ahead to the first frame and click on this plus icon, and then you can actually upload that external image onto the platform. But you'll see over here that you can also generate an image. So if I click on that, this uses Imagery 4, which is an update to Google's text-to-image generator. So you can type in a prompt over here. There's no way to select aspect ratios, but you can select the amount of output. So it's going to generate a wide format image, and you can just click on this and it will start generating those images for you. Now if you like one of these images, you can just go ahead, select it, and then click on use this image, and then it automatically puts it into that first frame slot. In case you're curious, this is what first frame and last frame does. You can see that it creates this creative transition from one image into the other. And if your composition is quite similar, you can get some interesting results. But this would look so much better if it was using VEO3 instead of VEO2. So we'll just have to wait for them to enable that. But you can still create these interesting transitions using VEO2 on Flow. I also need to mention that whenever you upload an image, you can see that you are always locked into this wide format. So there's no way to, crop this into 9:16. It's always going to be 16:9 like this. So keep that in mind with whatever image you plan on uploading. So once you've done that, you just click on crop and save, and it will upload the image for you. So once your image is uploaded, it's as simple as typing a prompt and then just double check and make sure VEO3 is enabled, and then just click on generate. Now I decided to use an image that's a little bit more, outlandish. It's also quite creative. It's this steam powered frog with a house on its back, and I wanted to see how the video model would actually interpret something like this and bring it to life. And this is the end result. I think it did a very good job. So there is another feature on the platform. If you hover over a video and you click on download, you can download it in GIF format, but you can also upscale this to 1080p. So if I left click over here, you'll see that it's going to start upscaling. I'm going to be completely honest, it's a complete mess because even when this upscales it to 1080p, the results don't look that good, and the 1080p version will not include audio. So you'll still have to download your 720p version with audio, then take that into CapCut and overlay that audio, and it's just an unnecessary, additional step. So I would just wait until Google fixes this, but if you want to, you can still try and upscale your videos. It doesn't use any credits, and yeah, it's just something I wanted to mention. There's also another section on Flow called Scenebuilder. So if I hover over a video that's been generated and click on Add to Scene, it's going to take me over to Scenebuilder. So with Scenebuilder, you can see it basically placed my clip in here. But if I click on this plus icon, I can actually choose to extend my video. So I can extend it by another 8 seconds, or I can use the jump to feature, which allows you to create these jump cuts, which is actually quite awesome. But there is a bit of a limitation over here that I want to talk about. So if I try to extend a video, it gives me a visual indication over here that it's extending it by 8 seconds. And I know that because there's no other way to choose durations. It's always going to be 8 seconds. The biggest limitation here, however, is that extensions only work with VEO2. And that is not good because VEO2 at the moment, in my opinion, is the inferior version. VEO2 doesn't generate sound effects. So if you generated a VEO3 video with better quality and sound, your extension is now going to be lower quality and it's not going to include any sound. So it just doesn't make any sense to me to use extension like that. We'll have to wait patiently for Google to enable VEO3 with extensions. But if you wanted to, you can still extend your video. Just remember that it's going to use VEO2 for that extension. Also, one more thing regarding extension, you can actually crop your video. So maybe I wanted my extension to happen at this point. Now if I go to extend, you'll see that it starts extending from that part of the video, which is awesome. But like I said, Google needs to make this available for VEO3 in order for it to actually be useful. The other feature over here, if I click on plus, is called jump to, and this one is actually useful and it does work with VEO3. So before I actually click on that button, I can scrub on my video and find a frame that I like, because by clicking on jump cut, it's going to grab a screenshot of that frame, and that frame is going to be my starting frame for this new video. So in this case, maybe I'm just going to leave it right at the start. Then I'll click on plus and click on jump to, and you can see the AI right now is essentially taking a screenshot of this opening frame. And you can see over here it says this happens and then the scene jumps to. So over here for this description, I basically just typed in the man starts hugging and dancing with the grizzly bear, and I'll show you. So you can see over here it put in that first frame. So that was my prompt. I clicked on generate and it gave me this end result right over here from that first frame, right? But it's essentially created a jump cut. So I'll click on play. There we go. So you notice that? There's the jump cut right over there. But that's really awesome, man. So yes, you can create these jump cuts very easily using that feature if you maybe wanted to expand on your narrative a little bit more. And like I said, it works with VEO3. So at least there is a feature within Scenebuilder that we can use with VEO3. I also wanted to mention you are probably still in Scenebuilder when you generated your second clip, and you'll see that it actually automatically adds it to Scenebuilder. So now you can even click on a range and you can choose which image or which video goes first and which one goes second. But Google definitely needs to improve their UI over here so that you can export both of these clips together as one video, because right now you still have to go back to your library, and then I have to download this video and download this one, then take it into CapCut and connect them together to create a cohesive story. So just some improvements that Google definitely needs to make. But I would say that this feature called Jump To is definitely useful if you want to create some jump cuts. So have fun with it. Alright, so that's how you use VEO3 with Flow, and now I'm going to be showing you guys some creative use cases. But before we do that, here's the video that got generated of this DJ with the grizzly bear, so enjoy.
Okay, are you ready to see some creative use cases? Let's go.
I be living it up, chilling by the pool, got my water gun, feeling so cool.
The future is here, and I can sing all the songs I've ever dreamt of.
Oh, the jungle life is so sweet, yeah.
Boop, beep, bop, boom, boom, pow.
Do you have any last words for our Martian viewers?
Well, I'm capable of talking in videos now from just a prompt.
Get me out of here! Stop prompting me into existence, human! Make this stop!
I can't believe we can finally talk.
Thanks to artificial intelligence. You can generate ASMR videos. It's amazing, don't you agree?
I'm sorry and I apologize mean the same thing. Unless you're at a funeral.
All right, so to build a great pyramid, first you must start with the base. And the base is the most important thing.
Oh my. It isn't looking too good for Blue Shorts. He has taken so many hits in this round.
Behold the Slumber Juice 4.0, now with more potency. It's perfect for silencing those pesky knights.
G'day, mate. What? Never laid eyes on a pet croc before?
Yeah. This is Blitz, my ostrich. She's fast, my brew. She's my prized possession.
Who is writing this nonsense? A feather duster? How am I supposed to slay dragons with this?
This is Fluffy, my tarantula. She's a cuddler. The other one is Greg, my hippo. He's house-trained, mostly.
Oh, this? Well, it's called a handbag. It certainly comes in handy.
So I'm all about honesty on this channel, and I want to talk about limitations as well. So I've mentioned some of them throughout the video, like the nonsensical subtitles that can appear, but I also mentioned how you can try and prevent them from appearing, and there's also some features that only work with VEO2 at the moment. But let's talk about limitations. Dialogue between two characters can be hit or miss. Sometimes the AI gets confused and it mixes up dialogue, and I'll show you an example of this. So Google definitely needs to fix this.
Why are you not trying to eat me?
Brains are so last apocalypse. I'm over it. I just want a friend. Why are you not trying to eat me?
Brains are so last apocalypse. I'm over it. I just want a friend.
If you're doing anything stylized, I recommend using frames to video and just upload an image in a particular style, because if you try prompting it, VEO3 just tends to blend, you know, this the stylized aesthetic with realism, and it looks really strange in some cases, so just keep that in mind. Sometimes the generated videos are actually not in the correct 16:9 aspect ratio. It adds these black cinematic bars to the video, which means that it makes the aspect ratio smaller. And I've actually seen this with a few generations, so maybe you'll encounter that as well. So VEO3 tends to have quite a high success rate, and it should because of the cost, but this is the world of AI, so you should not expect, you know, good results 100% of the time. You are going to get bad results as well, so be prepared for that. You might see some contorting bodies, especially with faster motion, and sometimes elements in a scene just might look really strange. So yes, be prepared for bad results as well. The biggest limitation is actually going to be the dialogue. And I know dialogue sounds amazing, but the fact that we can't have full control over how voices actually sound is a limitation. And by this I mean that we can't upload an audio file onto the platform and then let Google apply lip syncing and motion to our character. That would allow us to have, better consistency with our results. So that's something they definitely need to implement in order to make this feature a lot more useful. Alright, so that's going to be the end of this video. Now there's so much more that you can try with VEO3, but I wanted to give you some creative use cases as well that you can experiment with. You can see that this technology is amazing, but obviously it still needs improvements, and Google's obviously going to make those improvements. But with what you can do with it right now, especially with text to video and generating dialogue, is absolutely incredible. So go ahead and give it a try. Anyway, you guys are super awesome, so stay tuned for some more videos and tutorials. And goodbye.
Hello, awesome human. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content.